What if you could take a single hyper-realistic image and turn it into a full cinematic scene with multiple angles, clean camera control, and perfect consistency without leaving one workflow? What if that one image could guide every scene decision you make in AI filmmaking? That's exactly what I'm going to walk you through. The problem most people face is simple but frustrating. They generate a great image, but the moment they try to expand it into a scene, everything breaks. The character changes, the camera angles feel random, and consistency is lost. And when consistency breaks, the entire scene stops feeling cinematic. Here's where this gets interesting. I'm going to show you how image generation, a single reusable prompt, and Nano Banana Pro work together as one connected system. In a moment, I'll explain why the grid layout matters more than you think and how it solves camera control across multiple angles. I also want you to keep something in mind. Earlier, I mentioned consistency, but I haven't explained yet how we actually lock it in across an entire scene. That detail is coming shortly, and it depends entirely on how the first image is generated. Another thing I'll come back to is customization. Right now, it might feel like you're stuck with whatever output you get, but later, I'll show you how selecting a single frame from a grid lets you customize the scene without breaking continuity. So first, let's slow down and start exactly where everything begins. The very first step is image generation, and this image is not random. It must be a hyperrealistic image designed for a movie scene. Basically something that already feels like an action film or a sci-fi film moment. This first image sets the tone, the lighting, the environment, and the character, basically the DNA of the entire scene. And in the next part, you'll see why generating this image correctly inside Nano Banana Pro determines whether every later camera angle works or fails. First, after deciding on the type of scene, whether it's an action film or a sci-fi film, you generate one hyper-realistic image. This image is created inside Nano Banana Pro, and this matters because Nano Banana Pro gives you the level of realism and consistency we need for AI filmmaking. Earlier I mentioned that this first image becomes the DNA of the entire scene. This is where that detail matters. Every camera angle, every multiple angle shot, and every later extraction will be based only on this image, nothing else. Now, after generating that image, the next step is not creating a video yet. Next, we use a second prompt, the one I already prepared, to generate a character storytelling board sheet, basically a storyboard grid. This is the 3x3 layout that shows the same scene from multiple camera angles. Okay, so here's how that works in practice. You upload the image you just generated into Gemini at gemini.google.com. You make sure you click create image, and you also make sure Pro is toggled on so Nano Banana Pro is active. Now this is important. When you upload the image, you copy and paste the exact prompt I already provided for multiple camera angles. This prompt is designed to keep everything consistent, the character, the scene, the lighting, and only change camera angles and framing. For example, the grid might return labeled panels like KF1, KF2, KF3, and so on. In this case, those labels are not decoration. They are how you identify each shot later, and this will matter when we extract high-resolution frames. Earlier, I hinted that the grid layout solves camera control. This is where it starts to make sense. The grid lets you see wide shots, medium shots, close-ups, and dramatic angles all at once, while staying in the same scene. But here's the open loop I want you to hold on to. Right now, we only have a grid image, not individual high-quality frames. In the next part, I'll show you how to take one specific sequence, like KF1 or KF2, and turn it into a standalone hyper-realistic image without losing consistency. Now, this is where everything starts to feel powerful. You take the grid image you already generated, the 3x3 or 4x3 storyboard with all the camera angles, and you upload that image again into Gemini using Nano Banana Pro. Okay, so here's the exact move. After uploading the grid image, you tell Gemini using Nano Banana Pro to extract a specific frame like KF1 or KF2 in high resolution. Basically, you're asking it to zoom into one panel of the storyboard and recreate it as a standalone hyper-realistic image. For example, let's say KF2 is a close-up that perfectly captures the emotion you want for that scene. In this case, you simply tell it to extract KF2 and it will generate a high-resolution version of that exact shot with the same character, same lighting, and same environment. This is where camera control becomes very clear. You're not guessing angles anymore, you're selecting them, and because all shots came from the same grid, consistency across the scene is preserved. Earlier, I hinted that repetition plays a role. If the extracted image isn't exactly what you want, you repeat the same process. You upload the grid again, request the same frame, and let Nano Banana Pro refine the result until it matches the sequence you're targeting. Now, this should make sense. You are not regenerating the scene from scratch. You're refining a specific camera angle inside the same scene. There's one final piece left. In the last part, I'll close the loop on how this entire workflow ties together into a repeatable system for AI filmmaking. From one image to multiple angles and back to a single perfect frame. Lastly, let's connect everything into one complete system so you can repeat this process for any scene. You start with one hyper-realistic image created in Nano Banana Pro, and that image defines the scene, the character, and the overall visual consistency. Earlier I mentioned that this image becomes the DNA of the entire workflow. Now this should make sense. Every prompt, every camera angle, and every extraction is anchored to that first image, which is why nothing breaks visually. Next, you expand that image into a multi-camera storyboard using the exact multiple angles prompt I shared. Basically, this prompt is what enforces camera control, allowing you to explore wide shots, close-ups, and dramatic angles while staying inside the same scene. Then, when you upload the grid image again, you gain full customization. You choose a specific sequence like KF1 or KF2 and extract it in high resolution. This is where consistency and flexibility meet, because you're selecting from verified angles instead of regenerating random outputs. Earlier, I opened a loop about repetition. This is where that detail matters. If the extracted frame isn't perfect, you simply repeat the upload and extraction until Nano Banana Pro gives you the exact shot you want, without changing the scene. So the full idea is simple. One image becomes multiple angles, and multiple angles become one refined shot. That's the core of this AI filmmaking workflow. Now you can apply this same process to any action or sci-fi scene you want, using the same prompt, the same system, and the same approach, while maintaining camera angles, camera control, and consistency across every scene.